Hello Magic fans, so welcome to another video. So this time we're actually opening a Innistrad Midnight Hunt pre-release kit. So due to our local restrictions, we couldn't play at our local game store for the pre-release. So I decided to get one of their pre-release kits. So each kit is about 1,500 local currency or 30 US dollars approximately. And it contains one PR kit and then 2 set booster packs. So it's like, you know, how much you would pay if you didn't get anything great. And so, I mean, you're like paying for the cards basically. So let's see what we get, and maybe we can, you know, try to see what we would, you know, what we would play given this specific PR kit. So it does contain your spin down, and then our PR card is Lord of the Forsaken. And let's see what else we have in the pack. So it has the new 2020 stamp instead of the date of the PR that they changed this year. And then we get our day and night token. We get 3 of the double-sided token cards to represent any of our flip cards that you might get during in your packs. And we do get 6 draft booster packs and a divider as part of the kit. And we have a little mini, I guess, instruction slash promotional poster about Harvest Tide. Okay, so let's open up our packs to see what we get from our PR kit. So first pack, Trapping of the Window, Soul Guide Griff, Flip the Switch, Siege Zombie, Snarling Wolf, Jack-O-Lantern, Burn the Accursed, Cathar Commando, Gavany Silversmith, Gale Drifter, Scab Wrangler, Riyadh's Revival, Hound Tamer, and our first rare or mythic is Haunted Witch. We do get our Mountain and then a token and another of the dual-sided cards. Second pack. Okay. Consider, Morkut Behemoth, Path of the Festival, Flare of Faith, Falconrat Perforator, Secrets of the Key, Festival Crasher, Shadow Beast Sighting, Search Party Captain, Bird Admirer, Hungry for More, Grizzly Ghoul, Cathartic Pyre, and Jaren, Corrupted Bishop. So Forest Zombie and another token. Bat Whisperer, Plummet, Evolving Wilds, Unblinking Observer, Dargrap Ford, Candled Cavalry, Lampholt Harrier, Locked in the Cemetery, Gavany Trapper, Harvest Tide, Infiltrator, Blood Tithe Collector, Sunrise Cavalier, Overwhelmed Archivist, and Hollowed Respite. Of course, Plains, Bat, and another token. I do like that the pack boosters each contain one of the, you know, double-sided cards, so that if you're drafting and you need extras. And then the PR kit itself contains some of them. So Duel for Dominance, Stuffed Bear, Storm Rider Spirit, No Way Out, Bramble Armor, Stolen Vitality, Eccentric Farmer, Ritual Guardian, Tavern Ruffian, Fading Hope, Diregraph Rebirth, Fangblade Brigand, Sigardus Splendor is the rare. Then a Swamp. Oh, we get a foil Malevolent Hermit, a wolf token and another double-sided token. Pax Betrayal, Shipwreck Sifters, Duress, Timberland Guide, Silverbolt, Falcon Abomination, Famished Foragers, Revenge of the Drowned, Clarion Cathars, Lunarch Veteran, Necrosynthesis, Thermal Alchemist, Delver of Secrets, and a extended art, Deserted Beach, Forest, ad card in the token. And then for our last pack, Vampire Interloper, Might of the Old Ways, Hedgewitch Mask, Electric Revelation, Devious Cover-Up, Blade Brand, Raise the Effigy, Eden Alive, Sun Gold Barrage, Ecstatic Awakener, Loyal Griff, Dawn Heart Wardens, Covetous Cut Purse, and Willow Geist is our rare. And Plains, Tree Folk, and a token. I mean, based on just what we got for our rares, I'm thinking maybe Rakdos, but then we'll have to see. Some of the rares we got not super playable, and like for example Willow Geist, I don't really think it's particularly strong. I mean, it's decent, but it's not a rare that you would play because it would win you the game. Of course, a dual land is just for fixing. A blue might be an option, but we'll have to see. So yeah, we'll take a short break and see what kind of deck we can make out of the cards that we got, and then go from there. In the meantime, I just wanted to take a look at what we got for our prize set booster packs, since we are opening packs right now. So Curse of Surveillance is our rare. And Enduring Angel is our mythic that we got. Okay, catch you back after the break. Hey, so welcome back. So this is what I decided to go with. I decided to go with Rakdos. My one drop is an Ecstatic Awakener. So it has an interesting ability. So for 2 and a black, you sacrifice another creature. You draw a card, then transform Ecstatic Awakener. You can only activate this once each turn. And then once you transform it, becomes a 4/4. So what you can do is you can use that as a combat trick if your opponent isn't paying attention to your cards, or as another way, if you're defending, they think you only have a 1/1, but you have and some other low power creature. Then as the game progresses, you can actually sacrifice that creature, transform, turn it into a 4/4 while attacking or blocking, and this will happen before damage gets dealt. So it sort of becomes removal at that point. So I've been able to take out a couple of my opponent's creatures using this as a combat trick in Arena. So I think it's an interesting one drop. And for our 2 drops, we have Siege Zombie. And if you tap 3 untapped creatures you control, each opponent loses 1 life. You have this Vampire Interloper, that's 2/1 flying, can't block. Festival Crasher that gets bigger if you cast an instant or sorcery spell. Lambholt Harrier is a wolf that has the ability of making a target creature unable to block for a turn. And then Thermal Alchemist is a creature with Defender. You tap it to deal 1 damage to each opponent. But whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you untap Thermal Alchemist. It's a 0/3. And then for our 3-drops, we have Harvest Tide Infiltrator. It's a 3/2 with trample for day bound. At nighttime, it becomes 4/4. We have Jaren. It doesn't really have too much synergy with the deck. However, you do create some 1/1 creatures if any of your other creatures die, and you can use those for like the sacrifice ability of your Ecstatic Awakener, or if you're able to bring out our Lord of the Forsaken, you can use that for its ability to sacrifice those 1/1 humans. Yeah, and then it probably works better for a Orzhov deck, meaning a white and black, but it's still pretty good for 3-drop 2/3 with some interesting upsides. And at the beginning of your end step, if you have exactly 13 life, you may pay 4 black. If you do, you can transform Jaren, and it becomes a 6/6 flying trample lifelink and sacrifice a creature, draw a card. And then we also have this Covert Cutpurse. If it enters the battlefield, destroy target creature you don't control that was dealt damage this turn. So it's also somewhat of a combat trick. You attack, they block, maybe your creature dies because it was smaller, but then you bring out Covert Cutpurse, and it will be able to kill one of your opponent's creatures. It just depends if they were expecting it or not. Probably something you can use during the first round. Maybe they'll be ready for it subsequently. 4-drops, we have our Fangblade Brigand. It's a 3/4 human werewolf that you pay 1 in a red to pump it, and then it also gains first strike. Nightbound, it has 2 abilities. One is it gets that +1/+0 in first strike, and then it has a second ability with 4 in a red, and creatures you control gain +2/+0 until end of turn. We get our Tavern Ruffian 2/5, it becomes 6/5 at night. And then Famished Foragers, so it enters the battlefield. If an opponent lost life this turn, you add 3 red. And then for 2 and a red, you discard a card and draw a card. So it enables you to loot through your deck. It also works with, some other cards like your Thermo Alchemist, dealing 1 damage to the opponent. Something that I didn't add and might consider adding to the deck from our pool might be Falconrat Perforator, and that works well with your Famished Foragers since you dealt damage to your opponent that turn. Then if it attacks, even if it doesn't go through, it still deals that 1 damage as a attack trigger. Then that will already give you 3 red mana when you cast your Famished Foragers. 3 red mana back anyway. Then for our 5-drops, we have our Diregraph Horde. It's a 3/4, but it also creates 2/2 zombies with Decayed when it comes into the battlefield. And then we have Blood Tithe Collector. So when it enters the battlefield and the opponent lost life this turn, then each opponent discards a card. I mainly added it because it's a 3/4 with flying, not necessarily because it's an amazing ability or anything like that. And of course, we have our Lord of the Forsaken. For our spells, I have Raise the Effigy. It has a destroy target artifact. I think pretty useful because there are some strong artifacts that you could lose to in this set. And then including something like Mask of Grizzlebrand. So you do want some sort of artifact removal in your deck. But it also lets you give an attacking creature +2/+2 until end of turn. And then Eaten Alive, you can, as an additional cost, you either sacrifice a creature or pay an additional 3 in a black. You exile target creature or planeswalker, so it's one of our removal spells. We have Necrosynthesis, which has, if whenever another creature dies, it gets +1/+1, so there is some synergy with our Decayed Zombies and maybe some of our other sacrificing shenanigans. And then when enchanted creature dies, look at the top X cards, where X is the power. Put one of those cards into your hand, and the rest at the bottom of your library in a random order. We get Cathartic Pyre, which is another removal. It deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. But as a second ability, you get to loot 2. Hungry for More. It's red and a black for a sorcery. You create a 3/1 black and red vampire creature token with trample, lifelink, and haste, but you sacrifice that at the end of the turn. You can use this creature as the creature that you sacrifice because it goes away at the next end step. At the same time, it can gain you at least 3 life while, waiting for something better to come along. I played Blade Brand. It does give one of your creatures Death Touch, so it becomes sort of a combat trick for you. But the good thing about this, it's a cantrip, so you play it and then you get to draw a card off of playing Blade Brand. I also played Electric Revelation as a way to loot cards. Pax Betrayal, because it synergizes with your sacrifice effects, so what better way than to, Pax Betrayal one of your opponent's bigger creatures, and then you sacrifice that creature to your Ecstatic Awakener, right? And then, of course, since we got our dual land and also Evolving Wilds for fixing, and then our last removal spell is Burn of the Accursed. It deals 5 damage to target creature and 2 damage to that creature's controller. It does get rid of most creatures, but not all. But the creatures that doesn't get rid of, there's probably a very small percentage of creatures in the set. Unfortunately, we didn't get some of the better black removal, but I think it's a pretty decent sealed deck. That alternative deck that I was thinking of, or that you could use as part of this sealed pool, is that there's also some white and green cards here. So some Eccentric Farmer, Dryad's Revival, Hound Tamer, Dawnheart Wardens, Loyal Griff, Sungold Barrage, Ritual Guardian, Timberland Guide, Duel for Dominance as a removal, and maybe also Bramble Armor as some additional way to pump up your creatures. Flare of Faith as a way to either save your creatures or, as a combat trick. Cathar Commando, it's also good artifact or enchantment removal. Your Willow Guy, Snarling Wolf, Hedge Witch Mask. We do have Hedge Witch's Mask, which provides a little bit of evasion, so if you put it on a bigger creature, at least they'll have to sacrifice one of their bigger creatures to block it, or, it will get through for maybe that last bit of damage that you need to end the game. Lunar Veteran, it's a good 1-drop. You gain life for whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, then you gain 1 life. It's going to work well with our Sigarda's Splendor. So if at the beginning of your upkeep you get to draw a card, if your life total is greater than or equal to the last noted life total for Sigarda's Splendor, or whenever you cast, and then also it gets whenever you cast a white spell, you gain 1 life. We get Gavany Trapper as another 1-drop, and later on in the game you can pay 2 and tap target creature an opponent controls. Silverbolt as maybe an additional way to remove one of your opponent's creatures. It's pay 3, sacrifice, deals 3 damage to target creature. If a werewolf is dealt damage this way, destroy it. So since we don't have that much removal in the deck, then it will be 1 added piece of removal. I'm playing Shadow Beast Sightning, so it's 3 and a green for a 4/4 green beast token, and then it does have flashbacks. You get to do it a little bit later on again. Search Party Captain, it 1 less for each creature that attacked this turn, and then you get to draw a card. So otherwise, it's a bit overcosted. But if you get that mana reduction by attacking 1 or 2 creatures, then it only costs 2, and then you even get to draw a card. So something that white and green deck needs would be more card draw. Gavany Silversmith, it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on up to 2 target creatures, so grow some of your creatures. Candlelit Cavalry as just a big beater, 5/5. And then the last card is Soul Guide Griff. So it's a 3/4 with flying. When it comes into play, you do exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard, and you would normally choose one of your opponent's cards with either Disturb or with suddenly I can't remember the with Flashback. So that's what you would use it for. But mainly it's because it's a 3/4 flying creature. So a lot of I think there seems to be less flying creatures in this set, so it's a good way to get damage through. Yeah, so that's what I would probably do for this seal deck, and then see how it goes. I might play this deck, and then depending on the matchup, you might want to switch it up, or just to find out which deck would be stronger. I think there are a lot of possibilities when you're playing sealed. Sometimes you don't know how good or bad the deck is until you try a few games. So again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate everyone, watching all our videos. If you have some more suggestions or anything you want to share, just, put it down in the comments section down below. And thanks again. Bye.